Hi everyone. First of all, I want to congratulate you for all of your good work for Module 2. There was a lot of good collaboration going on, a lot of really relevant comments, and a lot of wonderful ideas that you've been developing through the module. So congratulations once again. So going from the global context, you have created statement of inquiry. Think about the service outcome possible with an activity with the service as action, and also you have been thinking about how it could be linked to another subject to build an interdisciplinary activity or project. So that was the frame of Module 2. Now we are going to Module 3. In Module 3, the name is assessment. It doesn't go in all of the details because it is like the main point of Category 3 workshop. But since, let's say that in in-person workshop, we would still go through a little bit set the frame for the assessment. There is not a lot of details here about the mathematics criteria. So what I'm doing now is after that week, well, not after that week, on Saturday, on June 19, I'm inviting you to a virtual meeting. There are two possibilities for the time for the virtual meeting because of the time zones. And if I don't want you to be in the middle of the night, it was the only possibility which I had. So I'm either offering, it says 5 in the morning, but it is the Greenwich Meridian time. But what I did, if it's a big blue button, you have to install it, you have to authorize sound and video, okay, to join. So it's open at, the times here are for me, in my time zone, which is GMT -4. So for me, it's 1 in the morning, okay, in the middle of the night, but I know that suits let's say half of you. There is a time zone converter. If you click on it, what it's going to do is that it gives you my time. For that one, it's 1 a.m. And then if you add your city, you're going to see at what time it is for you. So that's what I did. It's not mandatory. It's just perhaps the opportunity to go, for example, on the details of what is the difference between each of the criterion and how we could assess it, for example. So, and I can answer most of your questions as well. So it's a complement to what we are doing here in the learning engagement activities. So I'm inviting you also to send me an email if there is a subject that you want to see specifically during these meetings. The other one is for me at 11 o'clock. So it's 3 p.m. Considering the Greenwich Meridian time. So once again, if you use that time zone converter, for me it's 11 a.m. And then if you click on your city, you're going to see at what time it is. Okay, because we're really living through this international dimension here. So that was for the meetings. So we just have to click here, and at the time, there's going to be a button here to join. I've put it in Module 3 because that's where we are at. So you can ask anything, any questions going from the beginning to the end of the workshop. I'm going to just try to help you. I will probably offer the same time meetings also next week in order for you to be able to ask questions again and for what is to come. In that module, there is not a lot of collaboration, but doesn't mean that you cannot take advantage of the ideas that the others have. So let's see really fast what there is as learning engagements. So if you click on the first, it's just trying to see what we want to develop for the students. Once again, you click on my post and you reply. So this is just to set the frame. Then the second learning activity would be to build the assessment. So this is the main part. I've given resources. No, not that one, actually, the third one, I'm sorry. So in that activity, there is a movie to watch, and we are just thinking about the difference between authentic task and traditional task. So that's something to reflect upon. And here I'm going to ask you to reply to 2 of the others' posts to give feedback. Okay, so this is for the second one. Once again, and the resources I'll give like in the third one, the third learning engagement activity, where you design your own task. Here, I suggest as they do, like using the GRASP model. That's what I do all the time now when I build my unit plans. And based on your like statement of inquiry, you can think of a task and decide what objectives like A, B, C, D, what criteria, and objective strands, which is like AI, AII, etc. That we want to assess with that assessment. And that's the part where I know that most of the time I go back in virtual meeting, okay, because it's not like perhaps clear to everyone, even though I know that some of you have already a lot of experience with the IB assessment model. So here are the documents. Here there's a mathematics guide, of course. The GRASP developing performance task is like an example which gives ideas on how to build that kind of task. So it's like a complement to what is written in the module notes. So here there's an example for mathematics, another one, and ideas. You don't have to fit everything, but just like to think like, you know, first part of the sentences, which helps us to develop like the GRASP assessment task. And also the roles that we can have. Of course, here I let you like think about what is more designed for the student roles and what are the audiences. But since we have to identify either one of them, both of them actually in each of the GRASP model, it's possible. There are possibilities just to help you. Okay, so this is for that document. Let's go back here. The Galileo rubric, I've taken it out. It's just like, let's say, authenticity. How can we like be more and more authentic? So here is like definitions, like just a continuum, just going through to go from something which is not that quite authentic and more authentic. So these are guidelines that helps us. Okay, so there are many things here that is interesting that has been done in that publication, so that's why I'm giving it to you as well. Also, once again, there is the evaluating MYP unit plan, in which we can see once again like the different levels for the evaluation of the unit plans, and it gives us hints like seeing like the using and sharing columns. Then you have like descriptions of what it should be. Okay, actually, so let's say here it thoughtfully connects with the statement of inquiry. It would be a characteristic of a really good summative assessment task. So here are something also that you would like to see. So it's a lot of thinking of trying to understand what we would like as assessment task. You see also that most of the time we use it since we want an authentic task. It's normally like linked to applying mathematics in real life context, which is what we want to do, which is often linked to the criterion D, which is okay. The other criterions like have not, like if I evaluate criterion A, I don't really like need that much of a context and something which is really meaningful, just trying to evaluate many like topics in the same kind of exam. So it's a little bit different. It's not like the objective in mathematics, but if we want it to be really authentic and meaningful, then either for criterion B and D, we can try to build upon like data which comes from real life. So you're going to think about that this week. Actually, it's a main thing. Of course, I've given again the MYP unit planner, which you can use and try to fill out. Now, at the end, you will have to copy paste everything actually that you decide to do. But until now, here you see what we had been doing. Where we are at this week is really like in the second page, the objective, the summative assessment. So normally we start here. Here it would be like the grasp. I'm just writing it down, but you know, I'm not going to save it. So this is the assessment task. We are going to ask you to find the objectives, let's say AY, AI, etc. Okay, so you decide what objectives can be assessed with your task, but we write it as well here in the last S of the GRASP model. And you also build a relationship between the summative assessment task and the statement of inquiry. Here, personally, I like stating again like the statement of inquiry, and then I just like link the two and explain how my summative assessment task enables us to reach the objectives of the SOY. So that's once again something which you have. So, sorry, going back here, sorry. So that was for the main task of the module. Once again, you don't have to comment on what the others have done, but you can if you want, of course. If ever, one thing I wanted to tell you, if ever you see that you have to change your statement of inquiry or your concepts or your global context, you can do it all the way. So at this point, it's really like choosing what you want to do in your task. So if you see that your task is not really related to your statement of inquiry, you can go back and change the rest. In the end, when you are going to fill in the unit planner, then everything has to be like linked together in order for that unit plan to be good. So let's go back to finish. In the learning engagement 4, we are thinking about how we can give clarifications to our students in order for them to be able to complete the task. So there are 3 ways which we see. The first one is taking the criterion, like what are the level 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. of assessed, and then change the wording only to match the task in order to help. And I've tried that, let's say in design, where the students have to build a solution, but if the solution is a video, I can say I have to build a video. Okay, you just have to add a few words in order for the students to understand. So that's one thing that you can do to clarify the task. The second one, of course, is what you can give orally, like things that it's just like planning. Okay, you just think about what you can tell the students in order for them to be able to complete the task. And same thing here, like giving a task sheet. So same thing, you can give instructions to the students. So you just have to think about how you can help your students to complete the task. And then the last learning engagement activity. Once again, there are no like replying to each other required. And here it's the objective is to go read like what is expected from the IB in terms of recording and reporting practices. So just go here about the assessments, of course. Okay, so you just go read the pages 90 to 94, and then you just answer here. You just have to think. It's like a reflection activity. So that's it for module 3. To be able to link everything to mathematics and to think how we can do it and to have a discussion about it, once again, you're invited to the virtual meeting. So I can't wait to read from you and to answer your questions, and also to meet you hopefully in one of these meetings. So have a nice week. Bye-bye.